What is up? This is One Big Bugga, and I am coming at you with Euro Truck Simulator 2, and I've been a bad furrer, haven't I? Yes, I have. Yeah, I said bad fur. I'm more and more openly embracing the fact that I am a furry, part of the fur nation, have a fursona. So, anyone who's not comfortable with that, I understand. And if you unsubscribe for me or choose not to subscribe to me for that, hey, that's fine. It's not for everybody, um, but it's for a lot of people. So there is that. So I'm not just like going out and saying, a bunch of stuff. But, I'm being more open about it because that's where I spend most of my time. I spend most of my time on Second Life now in a fursona, making friends, talking to people, having fun. What I call digital dancing is where you have these. They're called animation overrides that have your that'll make your avatar dance. And one of my favorite pastimes is trying to make my dances match up to the music that's streaming wherever I happen to be. And um, when you have over 750 different dances, or well, that's not entirely true. It's supposed to be over 750, but out of the two programs that I have that combined make 750, um, some of them overlap, so I don't actually have 750, but yeah, don't matter. So that's a lot of fun that I have. I can just go somewhere, a Second Life club somewhere and hang out and just spend hours matching my dances to music. But anyways, I'm getting off track here. It's not where I want to go. Like I said, I've been a bad for. I didn't upload Friday. No, 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 no. And I said I didn't want to miss any more videos. So I said, okay, I'll do it Saturday. Nope, didn't do it Saturday either. Okay, so here I am on Sunday. Basically, what would have been a makeup video has now become an early start video. Getting a jump on the week starting tomorrow. So, anyways, we are continuing our current delivery. We have a 22-ton trailer, a lightweight for our 1,000 horsepower. And let's just back it up here a little bit. Lights on. We don't need our orbitals. I don't see anything in my mirror. We're good to go. So, I have finished the yard today, and a large portion of that actually goes to the neighbor. This is the same neighbor that has been bitching about my dog, and you may think, well, that was nice of him. Maybe he was trying to be nice. And no, no. From what I understand, and by the looks of what I've seen, somebody told me something, and then what I've seen confirms it. He's having to do community service. And part of his choice for community service is to help clean up and take care of, that was a really terrible turn, but it's all right. To help clean up and take care of other people's yards. And he walks around with this, I'm going the wrong way. I am going the wrong way, and there's not enough room to turn around here. I just noticed the arrow pointing the opposite direction. That's alright. Once these guardrails go away, we'll be able to... this should be more than enough room to bank this around. As long as you're going to stay there and not move. I am going to have to go into the dirt, but that's okay. I should have more than enough traction. Kind of what I was afraid of. It's alright. There we go. Alright. It's alright. It's alright. Okay, it's not alright. I can see slight movement! It's slight, but it's there! Come on! Come on! Floor it! There we go. Okay, don't floor it anymore. Okay, we did it. I forgot. I totally forgot that I had actually pulled into the gas station the correct way. But that's alright. We didn't go too far. We didn't go too far. And, you know, it's far less than I deserve as far as I'm concerned for missing 2 videos. But I was just saying about the neighbor. I saw him come into our yard after he had finished weed eating, doing his weed eating. And he was carrying a big binder. And he walked into the house, you know, not walked in the house, he came up to the house, knocked, went inside. And apparently my mother-in-law filled out something or signed something in the book to say that he had done the work. And then he went back. So, yeah, it's not out of the kindness of his heart. But I'm not complaining either. I mean, a large portion of the lower side yard was done. And I don't have to do it, which means I get to now rest for at least 1, if not 2 days. Maybe even 3, depending on how fast the backyard grows. And that's really fucking awesome as far as I'm concerned. I am really sore right now, though, because I pushed myself to clear out a much larger area than I normally would. I was looking at the front corner, as I call it, of the yard. And we're doing 115. I really don't want to go that fast. We're good to pass this guy. Still going a little too fast. Now we're good. Whoa! Good thing nothing coming the other way. Oops. Wrong button. Of course. I did about halfway, which is what I wanted to do. I only wanted to go halfway, and I stopped. And I looked, and it really didn't look like that much more. And in truth, it wasn't. So I did an assessment. I stood there for a minute. I shut the weed eater off, and I stood there for a minute. And I kind of moved around a little bit. My back was feeling okay. My shoulders were okay. My right arm was very sore, as it usually is, because I still haven't been able to get to the doctors because I'm a dumbass and forget what time my appointments are. The only thing that was really sore was my knees. My knees were a bit sore. So, that bothered me a bit. But in the end, I was like, alright, I can do this. And I walked back to the table that I use as my little workstation, changed the wick, filled the gas tank, wiped down the weed eater a little bit, started it right back up, and went right back to work. And I finished the whole front corner of the yard. Now, to be honest, it wasn't that bad when I finished it. I wasn't feeling too bad. I was feeling good. I was definitely feeling positive. Fuck, I had just done an area that I usually take 2 days to do. And I just did it in 1. And I was actually feeling okay. Until I stopped. And when I stopped, within about 2 minutes of me stopping, the pain started setting in. And oh man, what can I say? Stop, stop, stop. Make room for the merging truck. And like I said, just what can I say? Just, oh my god. I was hurting. Surprisingly, my back is okay, but my hips, my knees, in particular my right elbow. Oh man, I am in pain right now. I just slammed down 4 ibuprofen. That's not prescription strength ibuprofen, for the record. That is that is the over-the-counter one. Because as you know, you can buy ibuprofen or Motrin, or whatever you want to call it. It's all the same damn thing. You can buy the over-the-counter versions in 200 milligram tablets, where prescriptions are usually 800 milligrams. Well, some people would say, well, you're really not supposed to. Hush. I talked to several doctors, and they've all told me the same thing. You can take up to 4 ibuprofens at once of the over-the-counter version. And there is a bit of a risk to that if you have a sensitive stomach, because ibuprofen can be tough on your stomach. If you have a sensitive stomach, it can make you sick, it can cause you to throw up. And, you know, for really sensitive people, or people who already have pre-existing problems, it can actually cause damage. I don't have pre-existing problems. I definitely don't have a sensitive stomach, so it doesn't bother me. When this isn't something I talk about lightly, just because it's one of those subjects. It's like, ew. You know, some people don't like to hear. But when I ended up with a kidney stone, and I've had 2. I had a kidney stone. I was slamming 8 of them at once to reduce the pain. 4 wasn't enough. I had to take 8 to kill the pain. Man, off track here for a minute. Kidney stones? Oh my god. I'll just be straight with you. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Women say nothing compares to childbirth. I say I passed the damn kidney stone. My wife didn't understand, you know. She really didn't. That I couldn't sit still, that I couldn't sit, that I couldn't stand, that I kept moving, that I kept writhing, and that I was in a lot of pain. And my wife, you know, my wife's always like, oh, you're just over-exaggerating. Then we finally went to the doctors, and the doctor looked at my wife and he said, ma'am, having a kidney stone for a guy can be some of the most painful experiences you can have. He said the pain can be excruciating. And then when we went and looked up kidney stones to show her, when after we got home, you know, because the doctor recommended that, so you understand, they're not just little stones, they're like little spiked balls of death. Seriously, they're little tiny spiked balls of just misery. They look vicious. The tiniest thing you could possibly see, and just no problem. And pretty unbelievable. Yeah, so anytime I hear a woman say, well, I gave childbirth, I tell her I passed a kidney stone. Close enough for me. Sorry. Again, I don't mean to like just go off like that. That's usually not my way. Who am I kidding? Yes, it is. I tend to talk a lot more freely about things since my wife passed away. As I've said, because I kind of got the attitude now, don't sweat the little shit. You know? If you're going to talk about what you're going to talk. Taking a little bit of my wife's attitude, that's how my wife was. You know, she was always, you know, brutally honest. She had the delicate touch of a sledgehammer. If she had something to talk about, she just talked about it. If she had something to tell you, she told you. Period. So, yeah, lots of fun. But I kind of have that attitude now. I mean, I try to be cautious. You know, things I say to people. I try, you know, if I have a sensitive subject to talk about, you know, something that could anger somebody, I try and be diplomatic about it. I think diplomatic's kind of like the old school term for politically correct, but that's just what I call it. You know, I try to be diplomatic about it. I try to soften the blow as much as possible, unlike my wife, who was just kind of like walk up to you and verbally hit you over the head with a baseball bat and then walk away. So it's true, man. It's true. So I don't do that, but I do just talk about what I feel like talking about, which is why I talk about now, like being a furry, being on Second Life, and certain things. You know, I'm 42. I've been through hell and back in my life multiple times. You know, and I've just recently, and in many ways, I'm still suffering the greatest pain I've ever had to endure, and it's the loss of my spouse. You know, 15 years we were together, married for almost 10, but a total of 15 years together. And to lose that, you know, I'd rather pass 100 kidney stones at once than endure that. You know? But that's just what life does, you know? My wife, if I'm also to be honest with myself, and I know this makes it sound like I'm being mean, but I'm not. I just have to look at the truth. My wife made very poor life choices, health choices. She refused to eat the way she's supposed to eat. She kept refusing at times and would take her medicine. She'd lie about taking her medicine. She just had this attitude that I'm not going to die from it. It's not going to kill me. I'm going to be fine. And I always used to argue with her about that too, you know. I always used to argue with her about that. She said, it's not gonna kill me, I'm not gonna die from it. And I tell her, yes, it will. Yes, you are. You know, and I honestly thought, that's right, I want to be on the inside track. I honestly thought when the doctor finally told her, you know, if you don't start taking care of yourself, you're not gonna live more than 6 months. Then I really thought at that point she was going to do it. But as always, after 2 to 3 months, she stopped. She stopped taking her medicine. She stopped eating the way she was supposed to eat. She didn't completely stop taking her medicine. She, you know, just did take it here and there. You know, take it less and less. And after all the time we had been together, it finally caught up to her. The inevitability of it is that it caught her, despite what the doctor said. What can you do? It's nothing. You know, this. I think that's too why I feel a little bit stronger when I hear about Total Biscuit's cancer and it being terminal, because I feel for him having to deal with that, but I also feel, and I feel much more strongly for his wife, who is a bit of a quasi-internet celebrity just due to the fact that she's married to Total Biscuit. But she has her own personality, and she's a lot of fun. And if she wanted to, if she put her mind to it, she could be her own YouTube personality without TV. She could. But again, as I was saying, it's just knowing that time's limited. You know, knowing that, and knowing that at some point you're going to lose your spouse to an illness, that you're not gonna live that dream. of growing old together. And being together like that, you know? I have a lot of hope for Total Biscuit. I do. He's still young and he's really strong. And he's a stubborn bastard. And there's no telling what kind of treatments could come down the road. You know, there's no telling what kind of treatments could come down the road. Because this is affecting him as young as he is, there's a good chance that he could fight it for years. Not just 2 to 3, he could easily go 10, you know, or more, easily. Again, I'm going too fast. So there's no telling what could happen. You know, there's a lot of research out there going on right now that are actually fairly close to some very powerful cancer treatments. And so there is a lot of hope. But no matter how much hope there is, you also got to face the grim reality. You know, it's the thing, you hope for the best, but you prepare for the worst. And that's why I don't sympathize with Total Biscuit's wife. I empathize. Because if the worst happens, she's going to watch her husband slowly die. Painfully, in many ways. And just waste away. You know, becomes sicker and sicker, and maybe thinner and pale, maybe sleeping a lot more and less energy and having to take care of him more. And, you know, that's what I went through with my wife. I had to take care of her more and more. She slept more and more. She was sick a lot more. And as I've said, the sad part about it is I could see it. I knew what was wrong. And I was trying to convince her. I never truly put my foot down about it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sniff to the microphone. That's one nasty habit I've had for a while. I try to avoid it, but between weed eating and the fact that I am a little emotional right now, I'm actually surprised at how well I'm holding together talking about this. But, yeah. You know, I could see that she was dying. Like I've said before, I would say to myself when she'd be sleeping, "You're dying, aren't you? Your kidneys are failed. You're dying." But then I'd just let it go. Again, it's kind of like what I talked about beforehand. I wonder, and I'll never know, you know. But I can't help but wonder if my wife made a choice to do what she did. Because of the amount of pain she was in. Because, because of the amount of pain she was in. because of she didn't want to live poking herself with needles for the rest of her life. She already said that at one point to me. Her legs, her hands, and things were only going to get worse. As she got older, the doctor pretty much told her there's going to come a point you will be confined to a wheelchair. You know, my wife, she did not. I'm going to cruise at the speed for a sec while I adjust my chair. My wife did not like people taking care of her. She hated having to rely on people. Even me, you know, her husband, she just hated it. She was a very strong and independent woman. And that was born out of a lot of things from her past, and I'm just not going to go into. But that's just how she was. I think I don't think, I wonder if she made the conscious choice to just live the rest of her life the way she wanted to. And some of you may say, well, that's not fair to me. She never said anything. You know, that was selfish of her. And, you know, you'd be right. That was selfish of her. And it wasn't fair to me, if that was the case. But, you're gonna ticket me? Thank you. The truth is, if that's what my wife wanted, my wife knew what would happen if she did tell me. She knew I'd never allow it. She knew I would fight her on it. And that I would do everything in my power to prevent it. So where that still doesn't make it right, and that still makes her selfish, if it is the case, then I can forgive her for it as well. Now, whereas I don't have any concrete proof that this is what happened, I can say that there are certain things, certain aspects of her life that you know, and especially in the last few months, where I didn't put two and two together, but now that I look back on it, they kind of lend credence to the fact that she knew she was dying. And those run along the lines of things she used to say to me, and her mother, and her sister, and things that she said online, the way she lived the last few months of her life, and the things she did in the last few months of her life. Things such as reaching out to old classmates and telling them how she felt about how they treated her, and making connections with old classmates and old friends all over again. Talking to her mother and sitting down and making sure she tells her mom, I love you, every day. Yeah, this is where it gets difficult for me. I've been doing good, but this is the hard part. The fact that she always used to not only make sure to tell me, and let me know that she loved me, but how much she appreciated me and everything I was doing for her. And that she understood, how hard it had been for me. And to me, it really hadn't been all that hard. You know, she appreciated everything I was doing and everything I was going through to help her. And just basically letting me know that even though I'm not perfect, even though I have a lot of problems, I don't always do things right, that she still loved me. Excuse me a second. I know that wasn't ideal. I just pulled the microphone away from me, but oh well. Just things like that. She was basically, to be fair, putting closure on her life. That's what it looked like to me. She was putting closure on her life. She was making sure there were no loose ends. Hey! Wow. Wow. If that ain't a mirror of real fucking life. Just cut my ass off like that. Hopefully the trailer didn't suffer. Probably already damaged it from that stunt of turning around earlier. But yeah, just technically don't need my lights anymore, but I still feel like it's dark. And it is. I don't know why. Unless it's gonna rain or something. I'm just saying that's what it felt like to me. Is my wife was doing closure on her life, making sure there were no loose ends. You know, and something else she said to me at one time, and it didn't, you know, I just kind of brushed it off as my wife being my wife, but my wife made this binder, and she said to me, all of my information, our, you know, our social security, or not our social security, our birth certificates, our other information, all the passwords to all my accounts and the insurance and everything is in this binder. If you need anything, it's in here. And she set up this beautiful binder that had, it had all the passwords to every account that she had. It had all the information she said it would, contact numbers, account numbers for our various accounts, including like credit cards, the car, and everything like that, you know. It was pretty amazing. But, you know, to me, that was what my wife did. My wife was very organized, orientated. She was almost, if I'm to be fair, OCD. in terms of how organized she had to be, and how much of a perfectionist she had to be. She was the type of person that when starting a project, she'd do the project to the end, print it out, like say it was a card, you know. This is kind of what I'm talking about. I'm getting a little out of control here. So say it was like a card, like a birthday card, or she had to print out some kind of form for something, or she wanted to make her own form or her own paper for something. She would make it, print it out, look at it, crumple it up, throw it away, go back on the computer, delete the whole thing, and start from scratch. Really? I got 102 kilometers left and you're yawning. I would prefer not to hit the guardrail. This is a really steep ass corner. But that's how my wife was. And she did the same thing with characters in video games. Diablo, World of Warcraft, even League of Legends. EverQuest, same thing. She would make a character. I'll go with I'll use Warcraft as an example. She'd go make a character, distribute points, get items, get to a certain point, look at the characters, decide she doesn't like it. So rather than go back to a trainer, redistribute her points, she'd just delete the character and start over. And I'd tell her, Joy, why are you doing this? Do you know you can just redistribute the point? Yeah, I know, but I can do better. I can do better. I should have done it from the start, so I'm going to do it from the... This is just how she was. You know, no exceptions to the rule. Oh, hey. Thanks for waiting all of that time to cut my ass off, dipshit. The game's trying to fuck with me now. Yeah, she'd never, ever, for any reason, redistribute points on the character. If she didn't like it, she'd delete it, start over. Yeah, no, I really need a rest spot, but there isn't one. Which is kind of fucked up right now. Especially I'm on a highway. Let's take a look. Because we're in a precarious spot here. So our drop-off point's really close, and there's no rest point between us and it. I should have turned off here, gone to this rest point, come down here, and then back this way. But it's too late. So we're kind of stuck on this. We've got to finish this in the red. 46 kilometers drop off. I'm gonna do something really stupid here just to get ahead of him. I was hoping I could bully him to back off, but that's not what happened. So that might have damaged the trailer a little bit. This is kind of where the gloves come off when I'm in this situation. I haven't had to do this for a while. But I wasn't paying attention to how tired I was. I may even skip the parking to keep myself from... I don't know. We'll see where we're parking to begin with. I'm actually kind of surprised that I got this tired with the distance that was left. I feel like that the stamina meter's been changed when you simulate. As long as I can get the trailer to where I need it to be, then I'm fine. Try and time this. Yeah, not too hard. Just paying attention that the parking area is over here. Eh. I know. Satisfactory. 5% damage. That's really not good. I know this is less than ideal for what I did, and I apologize. My own stupidity putting me into this situation. See, now the hard part is I need to get to a rest point as quickly as possible. Recruitment agency is always nice to see. I did not mean to clip the sidewalk, even though I actually kind of knew that I was going to. Light being kind to us. Again, light being kind to us. Might nip the sidewalk a little bit. We're not going to repair first. Alright. Not bad, not bad. Only got hit once. Only got hit once with the cheese there. With the fine. So it's not bad. Okay. Service the truck. I don't think there was anything new to upgrade. No. No stars, I don't think. Well, eh. Meh. But not chrome, man. I like my chrome. Yeah, I like the lighter chrome. But that's it. I think that's all we've got left to unlock is tires. Everything else is pretty much done, so. Right. The manager. Truck manager. No, I want truck dealer. Renault. I still don't think I have everything. No, I'm missing Scania. I have Volvo, Renault, Mercedes, MAN, DAF. I'm missing Scania and Iveco. So, yeah. Oh, good. There's a dealership right there. After we buy this truck, we'll be able to buy online from now on. 120,000. Yeah. We're going to send it to our garage. I fucked that up. That's all right. Because this truck Nobody's using anyways. But that's going to mean that we're starting at our garage rather than where we were. So that was dumb of me. But so be it. So you can't hire a place. You can't pick a place to hire. You just get to hit hire driver. So we don't understand that one. We got some 1.7s. All right, we got three 1.7s. Nobody has any long distance. We got some economy. We've got some high value cargo, rush delivery. No, no. You've got a little long distance under your belt. I actually like that. I like when they have a little bit long distance. You have long distance and rush. You have long distance and fuel economy. And that's it. Okay. I like long distance and rush. So you're getting hired and you're taking our new Renault Magnum. It's all you, buddy. Leaving us with a scant 15,000 euros. All right. Now, sadly, we didn't go far. We were here. Now we're here. We're back at our base. So, what would have been here had I been looking here? Logs, 25 ton. That probably would have been the one I told by the look of everything else that's here so far. Really nothing special there. Maybe I'd have taken this. Maybe I'd have taken this just for the fun of it. Except that really doesn't go anywhere. So probably not taking that. That definitely could have been something I'd taken because it goes somewhere that I hadn't been. And the land distance is only 843, so I could probably almost pull that off in one trip. Yeah, I could do that in one video because the ferry would help give me a rest point. But sadly, we're not there. We are here. And so our choices are much, much more limited to regular box trailers. Boo! Boo! Box trailers. 989 kilometers going basically straight back where we came from. Again, kind of the same trip, but a different town. So this is a front runner right now. This is also, it's heavier, but not as much as 28.9. This is 29.3. But this gets 29.05 per kilometer versus 28.96 per kilometer. So I actually get a better deal out of this one. Oh, this finally goes somewhere I haven't been in a while. I haven't been very much over this area of the map, so this would actually be a really nice run here. So I think we got a new front runner. That's not bad either. But I don't know, wrong direction for me. And this goes south. I'm assuming that the white roads are roads that maybe I've traveled, or are they borders? No, I think these are borders. Yeah, I think. Or are they roads that I traveled? No. If they're roads I traveled, it'd be way up here too. So these are borders. Duh. I don't know. Do I want to tow mobile phones? They're fragile. I get 29.11 per kilometer and a 738, which is definitely a single video. Or do I want to get, this one's 30.10. So this is actually almost $1 more per kilometer and it's 874. Yeah, that's the one we'll take tomorrow. Now, I gotta be honest, not exactly the subjects I wanted to talk about, but still, I just kind of shoot from the hip, and I ended up talking about my wife, and yes, I still did get emotional about it, but not as emotional as I thought I would. So very, very interesting for me. I haven't been able to do that, and I know some people say maybe you're healing. Well, maybe I am. Maybe I am finally healing after nearly 6 months. Maybe it's a little less painful. The truth, though, of it all is it'll never actually completely, fully, 100% stop hurting. It never will. I already know that a certain smell, a certain uh, song or sound or something that I come across will remind me of her and could easily send me off crying. I realize that because I see that my mother-in-law, when her husband died 7 years ago, still from time to time will start crying and calling for him. God, my mother-in-law, she's not here right now. She's up the road, uh, helping with a party for a friend's, for her son-in-law's friends for a first birthday party. To give you an idea. Um, yeah, man, what she's been through. She's one of the strongest women I've known, easily. 7 years ago, she lost her husband. A few years after that, she lost her father. A few years after that, she lost her mother. Going somewhere between 5 and 6 months ago, she lost a daughter. I can't imagine going through that, let alone the fact that she's actually living it. That's why I respect her as much as I do. May not seem it at times, but I do. I think I'm strong with what I've gone through. No, no. My mother-in-law, that's strength. That's strength. If I move back to the mainland in a couple of years, I'm going to miss her. That's the truth. Anyways, folks, this episode started off nice and light and funny and just kind of rolled over into depressing and sad really fast, didn't it? I apologize for that. But, again, as I said, I kind of just drift from subject to subject as I talk, whatever comes across my mind. So, that being said, I am done for this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Until next time, this is going to be one big